Welcome in our video lesson on electronegativity. What is electronegativity? Electronegativity measures the relative tendency of an atom to attract electrons to itself when chemically combined with other atom. So, ang ibig sabihin, yung electronegativity ng atom, yun yung kakayanan niya na mag-attract ng electron from other atom kung saan siya magbaband. So, the higher the electronegativity, the higher the force of attraction. So, example here. So, we have here atom B. So, si atom B, meron siyang high electronegativity, halimbawa. So, meron siyang strong pull. Kumpara natin kay atom A. So, si atom A, meron siyang low electronegativity. So, therefore, ang tendency ng electrons natin ay dumikit papunta dun kay atom B. So, there is a tendency for the electrons to be attracted with the atom with the higher electronegativity. Okay, so saan natin kukuhanin yung electronegativity? So, electronegativity are located in our periodic table. So, halimbawa, ito yung mga basic parts ng ating periodic table. So, we have our chemical symbol. For example, the chemical symbol of hydrogen is H. Then, we have our chemical name. So, ang chemical name natin is hydrogen. We have the atomic number. So, yung atomic number, ito yung bilang kung pang ilang atom sila sa periodic table. So, for example, ang number 1 natin si hydrogen, number 2 yung helium, number 6 is carbon, yung number 8 naman ay oxygen, and so on. Then, atomic mass. So, yung atomic mass is the mass of the atom. So, ito yung bigat ng atom natin. Diba? Kaya nga sabi natin, pag dinefine natin yung matter, so matter is anything that occupies space and has mass. So, therefore, lahat ng element in the periodic table natin na merong mass is considered to be a matter. So, yun yung ating simplest form of matter. Diba? Ang simplest form of matter natin is known to be as element. Okay? So, all elements in the periodic table are known to be as matter kasi meron silang mass. And then, we have also the electronegativity. So, yung electronegativity ni hydrogen is 2.1. So, yun yung hahanapin nyo. Hanapin nyo yung label dun sa sample atom sa periodic table. So, ang kailangan natin dito, we need to have our periodic table for the determination of the electronegativity. Okay, so sample, meron tayong table of Pauling electronegativity value. So, bakit table of Pauling? So, kasi si Pauling yung nag-introduce ng concept regarding electronegativity in 1932. So, he was Linus Pauling. Okay, so in this table, ito yung table natin ng electronegativity. So, example, we have here hydrogen. So, example here, we have hydrogen. So, ang electronegativity natin ng hydrogen is 2.1. Let's have another one. So, let's have your sodium. Electronegativity ng sodium ay 0.9. Then, we have francium. So, francium is 0.7. And then, let's take this into consideration. So, we have boron 2.0, carbon 2.5, nitrogen 3.0, oxygen 3.5, and we have fluorine 4.0. So actually, yung fluorine yung pinakamataas ang electronegativity. So ang tawag sa kanya, fluorine is the most electronegative atom. Okay, so we have fluorine which is 4.0. So let's have here iron 1.8, cobalt we have 1.8, nickel 1.8, copper 1.9, and zinc. So we have 1.6. So, ano yung napansin natin dito? Pansinin natin. So, si hydrogen, 2.1. Si francium, 0.7. Mataas yung 2.1, mababa ang 0.7. Si boron, 2.0. Ang fluorine, 4.0. Mababa, mataas. So, ano ang ating conclusion dyan? So, the farthest the element to the right of the periodic table, the higher the electronegativity. So, habang lumalayo yung element papunta sa kanan, tumataas ang electronegativity niya. Halimbawa, yung iron saka yung zinc. So, mas mataas ang electronegativity ng iron kumpara sa zinc. And then, the lowest the electronegativity from top to bottom. So, habang bumababa naman siya galing sa taas, pababa, bumababa yung electronegativity niya. So, example, hydrogen is 2.1, ang francium natin ay 0.7. Halimbawa, dito, carbon is 2.5, ang ating lead ay 1.9. Mataas, mababa. So, another example here. So, we have here fluorine, 4.0. Ang ating astatine ay 2.2. So, habang bumababa siya, bumababa ang electronegativity niya. Fluorine, 4.0. Chlorine, 3.0. Bromine, 2.8. Iodine, 2.5. And astatine, 2.2. So, yun yung idea natin regarding electronegativity. So, ulitin natin. Habang lumalayo, papunta sa kanan yung element, tumataas ang electronegativity. Habang bumababa, galing sa taas, yung element, papunta sa baba, bumababa ang electronegativity niya. And, so kung mapapansin natin, tingnan natin yung element under group 8. So we have helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon, and radon. So wala siyang indicated electronegativity. So, bakit wala siyang indicated electronegativity? Okay, sasagutin natin yan later on as we go on with our lesson. Okay, so let's try to identify the electronegativity of the following elements. So, let's have first lithium. So, lithium, puntahan mo yung periodic table mo, hanapin mo yung electronegativity ng lithium, and that is 1.0. So, lithium is 1.0. Then, zinc. So, zinc, same. So, punta ka ng periodic table, hanapin ng zinc. So, we have 1.6. So, therefore, zinc is 1.6. Then, silicon. Okay, so try to locate. Nasaan ang silicon dyan? Okay, so we have here silicon, 1.8. So, electronegativity is 1.8. Then, we have nitrogen. Okay, so let's go back with our periodic table. So, syempre, ang kailangan nyo rito, meron kayong hawak na periodic table. And also, isa pang kailangan nyo, majority of the chemical elements in the periodic table, dapat memorize nyo yung chemical symbol nila. Diba? Dapat halos alam na natin. Hindi man natin kabisado lahat, pero sana majority, lalo yung mga common elements. So, at least alam natin yung mga chemical symbol and chemical name. Okay, so again, let's go back. So, we have nitrogen. So, nitrogen is N. So, we have 3.0. So, nitrogen is 3.0. And then we have iodine last. So, iodine is I. So, ito yung iodine natin. We have 2.5. Okay, so that is the method on how to identify the electronegativity of a given element. So, syempre, ang kailangan talaga, periodic table. So, you should have your periodic table. Okay, how electronegativity works? So, paano ba gumagana? Ano ba ang silbi ng electronegativity? So, ang electronegativity ay nagagamit siya ng atom pag meron tayong chemical bonding between two atoms or two or more atoms. So, ginagamit siya for chemical bonding. So, the greater the electronegativity of an atom, the stronger its ability to attract shared electron. Mas mataas ang electronegativity, mas malakas yung kanyang magnetic power para mag-attract ng electron from the other atom. So, example here. So, we have here oxygen and hydrogen. So, ang electronegativity ng oxygen ay 3.5. Ang electronegativity ng hydrogen ay 2.1. So, therefore, merong tendency yung electron ng hydrogen na pumunta or dumikit papunta sa outer shell ng oxygen. So, kasi mataas yung electronegativity ng oxygen. So, yun yung silbi ng electronegativity. So, meron siyang silbi in chemical bonding in order to form a chemical compound from 2 or more atoms. So another example, so let's have the bonding between hydrogen and chlorine and bonding between chlorine and chlorine. So 2 chlorine atom, hydrogen and chlorine atom. So dun tayo sa una, let's have the first figure. So ang ating chlorine, pag tinignan natin sa periodic table, meron siyang electronegativity na 3.0. Then, ang hydrogen naman is 2.1 ang electronegativity niya. So, therefore, kung titingnan natin yung direction ng arrow, the electron moves toward the orbit of chlorine. So, halos lumilipat siya. Dumidikit siya sa orbit ng chlorine. So, in this combination of two atoms, so pag nag-bond yung hydrogen saka yung chlorine, nagkakaroon tayo ng HCl solution. Diba? Nagbaband sila, nagdidikit sila. So, sa pagitan nila, yung hydrogen natin ay tatawaging partially positive kasi yung electron niya gumagalaw, lumilipat papunta ng chlorine. So, nagbabawa siya ng negative subatomic particle, ng negative particles. Okay, so matitira yung positive. So, partially positive ang basa dyan. Then, yung chlorine naman natin will be partially negative kasi nagdadagdag siya ng negative particles. Okay? So, again, ang electronegativity ng chlorine is 3.0, electronegativity of hydrogen is 2.1. So, therefore, in our conclusion, so there is a tendency for the electrons of hydrogen to move to the orbit of chlorine. So, yun ang mangyayari sa kanila pag nag-bond yung hydrogen saka yung chlorine atom natin. Then, sa kabila naman tayo. So, the electronegativity of chlorine is 3.0. So, pareho lang naman silang chlorine. So, therefore, pareho yung electronegativity nila. So, kung magkamukha yung electronegativity nila, saan pupunta ang electron? Siyempre, wala. Hindi gagalaw yung electron kasi walang mas mataas. So, anong mangyayari? There will be no movement of electrons because their electronegativity is equal. And then, balikan natin yung question natin kanina. So, bakit walang electronegativity yung helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon, and radon? So, anong dahilan? Bakit walang electronegativity yung ating elements, yung mga elements natin under ng group 8? So, under siya ng group 8. So, anong dahilan? So, because they are considered to be noble gases. Diba? So, noble gases, kumbaga sa Tagalog, sila ay maharlika. Nasa kanila na yung lahat, wala na silang kailangan. So, in science, ang reason kasi ang kanilang outer shell is already full of electrons. Puno na ng electrons yung outer shell nila. So, therefore, hindi na nila kayang tumanggap ng electrons from the other atom. So, yan ang reason kung bakit wala silang electronegativity because they are considered to be noble gases and noble gases are non-reactive. Okay, so that will be all for electronegativity for our practice exercises in electronegativity. So determine the electronegativity of the following elements. So number 1, we have molybdenum. And number 2, we have gold. So refer to your periodic table. And comment down your answer in the comment box. So, i-type sa comment box yung answer for the electronegativity of molybdenum and electronegativity of gold. And that will be all. So, have a good day.